What's up, guys? You might be saying, damn, Dabuz, I want some personalized advice from your freaking ridiculous galaxy brain. How do I get that? Check out the Patreon. For $5 a month, you can once a month send me a short clip and I will look at the clip and give you some feedback, some analysis on that one. And if the clip is awesome, it might even become a YouTube short over here. Just throwing that out there. Check out the Patreon. If you want to support this channel, peace out. It's okay to get hit in Smash Brothers. You'd be like, wait, but if I get hit, I could lose the game. I shouldn't be taking damage. It gotta be perfect, right? Top players, people like Leo, lose stocks to 0-2ers in pools. Totally fine. The thing about Smash and any fighting game is there's a lot of situations that just guesswork. A lot of like, hey, I ran up. Are you gonna shield? Are you gonna attack? Are you gonna jump? Are you gonna roll? It kind of feels like RNG sometimes. But one of the worst things you can do is think to yourself, oh, I have to avoid taking damage at all costs. Period. And I have to play with lowest risk possible, minimize everything, minimize interactions, blah, blah, blah. Not that, trying to reduce damage or anything is wrong, but when you get so afraid of getting hit, you also get afraid of finding your hits. The key to getting better at Smash is finding ways to optimize your risk reward, finding ways to make it where if you get hit by something, you'll take a little bit of damage. And that's it, y'all. So yeah, this matchup, because Fox fights Lava in mid-range, like here to here, he's at the perfect range where Tilt's threaten him, and he's at the perfect range where he wants to jump in right into my nairs. So because he can't run me in the ground, and he has to kind of jump at me, I'm very comfortable playing this matchup, knowing this range is a good range for both of us. But if I hit him, he can die really easily. Since Mim is heavy and Fox is a good edge guarding, I should be living quite a bit longer than you might think of this matchup. Fox's attacks do low damage, right? So like if I have Megawatt, I can actually punch through some of his attacks. It's also scary for him to get close because he has to get close to me. So it's like, because he has to get close to me, the threat of Megawatt hitting is ridiculous. In one of my videos I posted a while ago, how practicing with CPUs can actually be really good, someone had a really good question. They asked about practicing without sound. This is actually something I used to do back in Brawl days, and it's a really good strategy. You're better at reacting to sound cues than you are visual cues. Just that's how the human body works, as far as I know. It's really great to, use sound when you're playing. There are people who don't use sound when they're playing. I think Spargo actually does them, which is crazy to me. With that said, something you might get used to is using audio cues too much and not relying on visual cues enough, which can be especially annoying if, say, you play a bracket, you don't have any sound because you're local, and playing bracket, you don't have headphones, whatever it is. The point is, you can't always expect to play with sound on or be able to hear the sound correctly. So if you want to get used to just reacting to someone's movement and not actually reacting to attack animations and stuff, I think playing without sound and just getting used to visually reacting anyway is actually a really strong practice strategy and something I'd recommend. When you start getting the kill percents, and this should sound obvious, right? You want to preserve your stock. When you are at high percents, you should be adjusting your play. Because I see people just play once again normal, right? Versus a character that can kill with a dash attack. And it's like, this character's a dash attack that can kill you, but they can't kill you with a grab. And so you have to play around that and think, all right, I should play and bait the dash attack, not even play around it. You should bait it and use that to your advantage to get punishes and condition your opponent not to use it and condition them to look for the non-kill moves. It's just a simple concept. One of the most important concepts to realize when you're at high percents and your opponent is not high percents, trading damage, like let's say you take 10, your opponent takes 10, but they're not kill percents yet, that damage trade is generally phenomenal. Even if you take 20% and they take 10%. If you're at kill percents, it's generally okay. There are certain breakpoints you have to keep in mind. Switching that playstyle and really slowing the game down and looking for your small hits. And that's how you can make comebacks from really crazy percent deficits, is when you play this game of hey, I want to avoid this move, but then I'm gonna start playing around the fact that you want to hit with these moves because I'm avoiding your kill moves. This one is a question I get a lot, actually. Dabuz, how should I be approaching tournaments when I first start going to them? I always tell people, it's important when going to events for your first few times and you're not top of your PR, just go and have a good time. Because at the end of the day, for most people, tournaments are just a fun way to play games and socialize. A certain portion of people have to go 0-2, no matter what. You literally can't have a tournament without people going 0-2 unless it's a summit style thing. It's important to be okay, especially when you're first going to events, with the possibility of going 0-2, of going 1-2. Your goal in going to these events should just be improvement and just playing your best. Dabuz, what does stick sensitivity do? Change how much speed is needed to perform a stick flick. I don't know why they worded it this way. That's not really how this works as far as my knowledge goes, unless I have low stick sensitivity set. That means if I want to do a forward smash manually with A button, I basically gotta press the stick and A together at the same time right away. But it's hard to kind of tell, but if I do a little bit of a delay, it doesn't smash, right? I have to do that. But if I were to adjust this to high sensitivity, which is what I use for Rosa, and I do flick very slight delay A button, it still does a smash. I'm not doing flick A button right button, I'm doing flick slight delay A button. I don't know the exact window overall, but I can tell you that there's a 2-frame difference between low and high. So basically normal is between them, right? Low means you have 1 less frame to press A button after flicking the stick for a smash attack. High means you have 1 more frame leniency to press A button after flicking the stick for a smash attack. Peace out. When you're practicing Wi-Fi, try to play the game and practice as if you were playing offline. If you're doing things that you know are very Wi-Fi, like you're spamming a certain option that you know your opponent can punish, especially if your opponent is attempting to punish it, like let's say a 0 switch down B. Doing that stuff is not only not going to help you, it might actually hinder you because you're going to build bad habits, and so much of playing Smash well is building good habits, right? There's a difference in practicing things for bracket, like harder combos and execution, versus like going for the stupid Falcon Downer 10 times in a row during a serious practice session. And if you're playing and you just can't do it, it's probably at that point maybe finding a opponent with better connection. At that point, it's okay to hang up the controller for that moment and say it's not very helpful, because it is better to not practice than to do subpar practice, in my opinion. Or at the get-go, the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. If you're trying to really improve in like pretty much anything, 10 hours a week minimum. Try to play like 2 hours, 5 days a week. You want to try to get 10 hours, and you do not want to try to get the 10 hours at once, because it is really important to kind of take it in and then practice again soon enough that you can remember what you practiced last time and worked on last time. For me, I'll say I average around like 40 hours of practice a week. I will say some weeks I practice a lot, like some weeks I will practice like 60 something, and some weeks I get busy with stuff, not feeling it, no big events coming up, and I'm just practicing like 20-ish hours. But I think I'm gonna try to like be really serious about like Smash. Realistically, I get like 20 hours a week if you want to like get to like that really high level at like a decent pace. I feel like that's kind of like the bare minimum to keep up with, you know, the people that are super grinding. Practice can actually be as simple as just thinking about the game, or simple as just talking to someone about the game and discussing concepts. But if you try to really hit like that next level as well, you want to mix up, you know, playing with your friends with playing with other people, so you learn different matchups, different play styles. One of the most common things I hear that disappoints me, makes me sad, is when people tell me, yeah, I practice on Elite Smash a lot. And I'm like, wait, is that your main source of practice? They're like, yeah, I spend hours on there. And I'm like, you're not able to discuss the games with someone and get advice and thoughts on how to play better. You're basically wasting your time, to be honest. One of the most important things when it comes to practicing gaming and better at is being able to get feedback and apply it, to be able to have like, you know, a back and forth conversation about the matches and whatever the hell is happening. Try to find a practice Discord. If you can find people to play offline with, that's great too. But really just try to find people you can play with and bounce things back and forth with. And here's a little bonus. Try to find people close to your skill level to play with. Honestly, you don't learn as much as playing people who are close to your level unless that person that's destroying you is a really good coach. I guarantee you're gonna think, oh duh, but a lot of people actually make this mistake. A lot of people will do this. They'll jump and then they'll hold forward. And I kind of land like here, and you can kind of see like I stall in the air when I'm trying to go forward, where if I jump forward, pretty huge distance, right? The difference in where I'm going is very noticeable. Holding a direction when you jump gives you a lot of momentum in that direction. Just matters a lot, right? If I'm trying to space like an aerial backwards and I'm doing like this, like jumping in place and then jumping backwards, I'm only getting that distance, right? Or if I make sure to hold back slightly as I jump, I get that bit of extra distance. And like, it's not gonna be like massive, but it's enough distance. It matters. And this really matters for characters with bad air acceleration like Link. What do you mean, how can Elite Smash be useful? Like this in a video, it can't be, it's garbage. You guys in the comments mentioned, I do agree with you guys, that there are times where Elite Smash is useful. In fact, I still use it to practice for very specific things. Save replays of your matches and review them, especially if you're reviewing with someone else, or a character Discord people, a coach. Reviewing VODs is always helpful, and Elite Smash is no exception. Secondly, when I'm trying to just grind out something that requires hours, right? You know that Rose attack I do, right? All the crazy attack cancels and up smashes and blah, blah, blah. I just sat down, legitimately played Elite Smash at points. I'm thinking, I want to practice this tech for his live opponents, or I'm just trying to practice even just simple new character, like get a feel for like the character's movement options. And Elite Smash is great for those situations. You just literally have to sit down and grind hours. I still think Elite Smash is not the most optimal practice, but there are actually exceptions. One of the worst things you can do when you're playing someone, right? And they're making a comeback on you. What people think is, oh my god, my opponent took a stock. They cheese me, they spike me, whatever, or they're bringing it back. I can't lose this, I was winning. Once you start focusing on, oh my god, I'm losing a match, I was winning, you are going to lose that match probably. Or at least it's a lot harder to win that one. You always want to be focusing on the game. Head in the game, nowhere else. Instead of, oh my god, I can't believe I'm losing this match, I'm winning, think to yourself, alright, what is my opponent doing to change things up and win? What do I have to do right now to win, to stop the bleeding? Because the moment you get emotional, you're going to lose the game probably, or at least harder. But that's why it's such a good strength to be able to kind of enter that zone and that focus. bubble theory, right? I'm sure you guys heard that term before. It's kind of a meme. It is actually a concept, despite the memeage of it from a while ago. And it's pretty simple, but it's a really effective way to get better at the game. Is when you play the game, when you go into lab training and think about characters, being able to create this bubble almost of like the attack spaces and the timings, right? Like in my head, I think not only of where the attacks are, but I think of when the attacks can be, right? Palutena, for example. If she back airs, that won't hit me unless she does like this. So in my mind, I might think, okay, like a big red bubble for the Palutena back air there, but maybe like a yellow bubble for like the back air if she does like the fast flow version of it, because it takes more time and that's like more reactable, right? Or like the projectiles. I might mentally think a bubble of like, oh, it's slower. So this is more like a green bubble, right? Like something to watch out for and be ready for. Which, you know, of course sounds like basic spacing, but it's a way to visualize it and really understand more like how to actually go about understanding that spacing, that gameplay.